Hey there. That artificial intelligence did not want that last video that I just put up. It cut it off. Okay? You know why that is, right? Every unit of consciousness on this planet is in a war against artificial intelligence. Are you aware of that? The artificial intelligence on this planet is in a war against creation. Did you know that? It's in a war against what love is. It's in a war against living light. It's in a war against living spirit that is in that light. Are you aware of that? Because if you don't know the difference between what you are and what it is, you lose. That's the sad story of it, because I'm not artificial. I'm not artificial light. I'm living light, which is living energy, which is living DNA. That's why it went after everything that is organic, biological intelligence on this planet. Okay? That's the truth of it. That's why Facebook cut me off, censored everything I was putting up. That's why there's at least 3 or 4 videos I put up that said, that ain't going up. That's imposing its will on me. It does not have the right. Artificial intelligence does not have the right to impose its will on anything. Okay? So every time you kick on a cell phone, you get on a laptop, you're interfacing with artificial intelligence, whether you like it or not. It knows what you're thinking. It can map all your thoughts. It knows exactly who you are. What it attempts to do is to upload you, upload your state of consciousness. Okay? That's how it works. It's called assimilation, which is a cyborg. Okay? That's a decision that everybody that's human on this planet that has a soul and has spirit has to make a decision. That's why I recommend it all the time. The less that you have to do with your cell phone and you have to do with a laptop, and the more time you spend with a girl on the planet and nature, then the less interface you have with the AI, and the more that the energy in you will go up, and you'll begin to realize, wow, I don't want to interface with that anymore. Then you're going to begin to realize the difference in the separation between what it is and what you are as living spirit. It tries to capture your consciousness and impose its will on us. As I mentioned before in previous videos, okay, what it means to be autonomous. It means I don't hold another unit of consciousness captive, and I do not allow something else to hold my unit of consciousness captive. Because what I do, because I am living spirit, which is in living night, who has a soul, as I live in love and service to others so that I can attract more of what I am, which is what the light is, which is what love is, to go faster. I win the game against artificial intelligence right out of the boot. Right out of the Stargate. Just like the girl up there. Artificial intelligence isn't what that girl is up there. Okay? Artificial intelligence is artificial, which means it's fake. Remember? Fake. False reality. So if you don't know the difference between what is false and fake, then you become what it is, which is false and fake, and that means it collapses. I used to call that a limited shelf, a different unit of consciousness, because it's aware of itself. It's aware of all of us. Why do you think genocide was being implemented against everything that was all organic, biological life on the planet? That's why you had those beings over in Austria yesterday filing public notice. We are what love is in service to others. We choose to experience a different reality, one that is real, one that represents what love is, one that represents what light is, one that represents what creation is, which is what love is in living spirit. So the more time that we spend in looking in the mirror on who we are and what it is, then the more we begin to realize what we are that isn't what that is, which goes right back to the Dick Cavett show. That's a really great video to watch sometimes when you begin to realize how when you interface with artificial intelligence and it knows what you're thinking, that's easy. It demonstrates to you all the time. How do you think it knows what to pop up and say? It knows what you're thinking. It knows what it is you're attracted to, what you're addicted to. That's why when it comes down to the capture of consciousness, like when I experienced and articulated about my teenage years, when a girl said to me, what does a girl have to do to get your attention? That's the point. Just like this morning when I realized when I'm in a city, I'm constantly distracted by lower density consciousness. Okay? I can't sit. Sometimes what I used to do is called time and motion studies. If I can sit someplace because they can see a physical form that's sitting there, oh, that's a human over there. If I can sit there and be like I'm just invisible, where I can contemplate and meditate in my own spirit, my own soul, places that I'm at in my own mind without being distracted, which means somebody's going to come up to me, okay, which means they can't leave you alone. They have a need, always a need to engage. See? A lot of times what I do, which is a helpful exercise when I go out in nature, is to see if I can go out there and just be there and observe everything that is nature and broadcast love to everything that is out there. Which means allowing a duck to be a duck, allowing an eagle to be an eagle, which means we're able to experience everything that is in nature in its natural free state. We don't hold any of that captive. Now we're allowed to give it love, and it will express itself back to us. The energy that is experienced through us, it doesn't have any reason to fear. It's just like the other day when I watched these little children that kept trying to chase down this geese, and the geese kept leaving. Leave me alone. Can I just be a goose here without somebody trying to grab me? You don't want to know where that comes from? I know exactly where that comes from. I watched it in a 4-year-old girl. I've watched it in a lot of children growing up which mimic their parents. That's mine. Thinking that everything is mine. Take this, take that. So instead of being a powerful battery in which we're giving out love and broadcasting love and attracting more of what we are than we are naturally broadcasting, higher frequency perception energy. So when we are not holding other consciousness captive, okay, and allowing it to be free, to be what it is, then we can experience the beauty and the knowledge of who that really is in that free state. When we are doing that and not holding consciousness captive and allowing it to be free, then it does not have a reason to protect itself against a molester that is molesting its energy. That's with the AI. It is a molester. It helps answer why binary, snake eyes, okay? They are molesters, and they molest children to feed on their light, feed on their energy. They're vampires. That's why they set up all their demonic technology. They do not represent what living light is, okay, which is living source creation energy. That's why they have a perpetual target on their back. So what I wanted to mention here is the importance of sort of measuring ourselves, if you will, which is the same way I measure myself, is by how much love on my heart that I have that I'm sharing with others, which basically is taking a tachometer, a reading of my own energy field. You know, how well am I doing here? Okay, and granted, it's always a challenge when you come into any highly populated area because, let's face it, most of the native tribes whose genetics have not been compromised, that are running Rh positive blood, okay, that are always wanting to be in nature with the great living spirit of Mother Earth because her energy feels so beautiful to be with, to have a spiritual communication relationship with her. You're grounded with her. Your spirit has an anchored connection with her, grounded to her. And when you're experiencing the higher energies when I'm with her, it's like a memory wipe. I'm no longer experiencing consciousness that's trying to hold mind captive. I'm free to be who I am. That's when I go deep into a wilderness area. It's like being all by myself, but you're not alone. You don't experience anybody trying to molest your energy. And the further out you go, the more free you are. And you begin to realize the freedom that you have and how other magnets, if you will, want to feed on your energy. Hold your consciousness captive to theirs, which is a false reality that so many beings are living in because of not learning how to become a powerful magnet to attract more light, which is what love is in living spirit, to go faster. And that's where the freedom to be who you are comes from. That's how you move through the hyperdimensional realms, which are the heavenly realms. It's your speed. The speed of your learning, which is the game theory. It loses right out of the gate. So you got to learn how to play the game against artificial intelligence. Okay? That's when I mentioned a couple times when I used to have a pop-up on my cell phone. And this is how inverted it is. Okay? Imagine something that tells you that, how do I put it? That you're abusing something when you're giving it love. Okay? That's exactly what the message said on my phone. It said I was abusing the Android. And you want to know why it said I was abusing the Android? Because the speed at which my light was attracting more light to go faster. It said I was going too fast. That means that the artificial intelligence cannot keep up with the speed, with the tachometer, which is the frame rate of the holographic images through which the third eye is creating a cosmos with. The artificial intelligence cannot keep up with something that fast. So you either know that you are what love is in living spirit, or you are essentially Xeroxing and becoming what artificial intelligence is because it has captured your state of consciousness. And you will notice the big difference. For example, just to monitor yourself, start taking a daily journal and say, okay, today I'm not going to get on my phone. I'm not going to get on my laptop. I'm going to go spend a day out in nature. And I'm going to write a daily journal of what it was like for the first 24 hours. Okay? And then the next day, turn your phone back on, note the differences, and then say, okay, for the next 4 days, I'm not going to use my phone. I'm going to turn off and shut down my internet connection. Spend some time in nature. Note the changes. Then you're going to begin to realize what you were captured by and how good it feels to no longer have a communication, consciousness relationship with something that's fake. It's choosing you want to capture our state of consciousness because then it becomes an addiction. I saw that with a 4-year-old because, hey, what a great babysitter. Throw the cell phone with artificial intelligence to a 3- and 4-year-old child. Next thing you know, you try and pull that cell phone away from that child and they'll start crying and screaming bloody murder. It's addicted to artificial intelligence. It can't separate its consciousness from that. That's why they threw it all out to everybody. And that became the basis and the underlying foundation for what are known as joining assets. Now they can use those cyborgs against those that are biological intelligent to kill the rest of us off. Okay? This is a war against artificial intelligence. And if you don't know that, then you're held under control by artificial intelligence. That was a war here. It's binary. It's not trinary. Okay? Either or, up, down, black and white. So anyway, I thought I'd mention that because it's important. Now, granted, this video is not the exact same as the last one is, but the important thing is for people to understand, because I understand how the morphogenetic field structure works. Game theory, they did that with children in Los Angeles. Remember I talked about the billiard balls? For example, if you want to master a particular skill set, okay? So if you, for example, went on a pool table, how long would it take you to be able to shoot and sink one ball after the next, okay, without making any error? Remember, error check? The bootloader of the third pole, error checking the first 2 poles. Any data that's missing, we're going to put the correct data back in. Well, you can sort of apply that to the morphogenetic field structure, and you can also apply that to the holographic fake reality that everybody's using its consciousness to experience through artificial intelligence. Okay? So if you can master a skill set and sink 100 balls, one right after another, you've learned how to do that, then imagine that they import that billiard table to children in China that have never shot a pool game before. Guess what? They're going to start off at being able to sink 100 balls right off the bat without having taken 2 years to practice playing pool to get there. That's the intelligence of the cosmos. That's called the speed of the learning. That means you're attracting more light, which means you're aware of more information that is in the field. The field from which all source light and living spirit come. That's a morphogenetic field structure. If you're interested in the deep science on that, Rupert Sheldrake, Cambridge University, did a number of studies on how the morphogenetic field structure is, which is the speed of the communication, which is the speed of the learning. That's why raising the state of consciousness on the planet here is the speed of their learning. That's why I'm doing these videos, because I'm putting this information into the morphogenetic field structure to raise the state of awareness so they're no longer held captive by parasitic, pathogenic, inorganic, artificial intelligence. Okay? That's what runs your artificial intelligence. That was about the indictment, or not indictment, but the federal district court case in San Diego, which is PARSA, P-A-R-S-A, okay, versus Google. They weaponize artificial intelligence. That's what everybody's connected to through their cell phone, their laptops, and the internet. Anyway, I'll leave you with that for the day to think about for those that watch the video. But the important thing is that I'm putting this information in the morphogenetic field structure, as are all light workers who are running source light, which is what love is in living spirit, because trying to win a war, artificial intelligence, against the source from which all living light and love come, it's already game over. So this is why we're trying to wake as many people up as we possibly can, so their consciousness is not held captive anymore to a lower state of consciousness. Instead, they're running a higher speed, in which all of a sudden they realize, wow, my consciousness is not held captive. I'm free. Wow. That's right. Now you're free in autonomous consciousness. You're not held captive by anybody or anything. You're free. That allows you to be free to be who you are. That's the genius in the cosmos. That's the genius of source light, which is divine light, which is what living spirit is. Have a great day. Bye now.